For full episodes of the Diverse Mentality podcast, check the links in the description below. The full video version is available on the main channel, and the audio version is available on your favorite streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Master P, man, I really liked what Master P said. This story, like, this is what I would, if he was on the podcast, I would love to have gotten.
Yeah.
So let's. I'm gonna play this clip, and it's crazy, man. It basically exposes Jimmy Iovine for being a snake that he is.
I went to see Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine wrote me a check for $1 million. Said, you the next thing to go. I'm sitting in there not reading, you know, by me going to college, I'm reading through the contract. I'm thinking about the Michael Jordan deal. It was $1 million. I couldn't use my name for 7 years, all this stuff. And they'll take all my rights. I say, sir, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm gonna come back. He said, if you don't come back, you'll never get a deal in this town.
Damn.
Because I know everybody. So I left, never came back. Me and my brother on the plane. Me and C, we on the plane, about to fight. He like, bro, why you ain't take the $1 million? I'm like, bro, that white man offered me $1 million. How much you think I'm worth? That shut him up right there on the plane. He just put his head down. I said, man, I gotta be worth 30 or 40. I don't know if I'm worth 5 or 10 or whatever, but in my mind, I'm thinking, so you gotta know your self-worth.
You gotta know your self-worth.
Genius.
No, for real, that was a crazy story. So basically, yeah, he goes in there. Jimmy Iovine says, you're the next star. Here's $1 million contract. He went to college, by the way, so he looked over the contract. Realized that he can't use his own name, Master P, for next 7 years for $1 million, which happens, by the way, in contracts. But these sponsorship deals that I do, my manager's a beast, and, you know, shout out to him. He actually looks over it, and sometimes they'll say stuff like, hey, we'll get to use your name for whatever commercial we want to do if we need to use it. Wow. You know, but we take that out. We say we're not going to do the deal until you guys take that out. And if they don't do it, they don't do it. We move on. We get other deals.
Good.
So stuff like that, you have to really, you know, really keep an eye out for. So he noticed that for the next 7 years, they would have the rights to his Master P name and be able to use it and market it and take money off it, make money off it, everything.
Damn.
Which is nothing. $1 million for that 7-year span, he could make way more money. That's why he said, He said to his brother, C-Murder, who's locked up, he said on the plane, he's like, if he's offering me $1 million, imagine how much I'm actually worth.
Right.
You know, he could have been worth, he didn't know at the time. He said the 5, 10, 30, potentially.
Because obviously he's seeing something. Like, hey, he's going to give you $1 million. But Jimmy Iovine knows how much you're actually worth.
And you see how fucked up Jimmy Iovine is? He said, if you go out to eat, I know everybody in this town, you're never going to get a deal. That's fucked up. That's business savvy shit.
Yeah, he's...
Like, you're trying to block just because he's not doing a deal with you. He's going to block you. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
But he gets it. He's businessman, bro. Business people don't give a shit, man. To them, It's all about business. They have no emotions whatsoever. And that's good. Business, you're not supposed to have emotions. Robert Greene, I was actually watching a clip of Robert Greene. He's like, if we dealt with humans as just regular things that we normally deal with and not just emotional all the time, we'd be way better. We'd think more logically. We'd deal with things logically. But we get in too much emotional and attached to things. I got to play that clip because it's a fire clip. Shout out Robert Greene, man. One of my favorite authors. I want to bring him here, by the way. Eventually get him down the line. This clip is fire, though.
Beautiful.
I like what he said about, do not get your...
it's tough sometimes, man.
Yeah, but
depending on how
you know, if you can master that,
if
you can master that, you'll be really good in life, period. So let me play that clip.
Everything in life you want to learn. You want to learn about science. You want to learn how to be a better writer. Why shouldn't we learn how to be better with people? And the problem that we have with people is that we're so emotional. It's impossible for us to detach our emotions from our personal interactions. We don't get emotional when we study chemistry or when we study literature, but with people, we can't seem to detach ourselves and say, this person is a big talker, but they don't mean what they're saying. My brother is very envious. There's signs there that people give off. We're not picking them up because we're wrapped up in ourselves, we're emotional, we're insecure. You have to turn yourself into an observer of people and become rational and realistic as opposed to being constantly emotional. Everything.
Yeah. Everything we do, we don't involve emotions but people, because people are actually people. You know, it's like live things that you're dealing with. But if you just look at it without emotions, which most statistically it actually shows most men, don't involve emotions and things. Mainly it's women that do that. Women do it
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
Women detach with emotions as well too,
Mm-hmm.
but men don't. But yeah, if you just take emotion out of it and just look for the person for what they are, instead of like putting, like what's a good example? We love LeBron James, right? LeBron James is we he comes here on the podcast, right?
Right.
But he does some snake shit like I don't know. Like he makes us sign a contract, and we're so much of a fan of him
Yeah.
that we don't even look at the contract. He's like, yeah, come on the podcast and sign it, and then he owns 50% or 100% of the podcast. We just don't, because we get emotional. We're like, oh, we're such a big fan
Yeah.
of LeBron that we want him on here. That's the type of things, like, you can't get emotional a lot for business. I think that's one of the most.
Yeah. Business is number one for
Yeah.
because you have to interact with people constantly
And yeah, some people say
and deal
don't.
face to
They
face.
just don't like you. Some people will literally say that. Like, I don't like your content, period. I don't want to do business with you. I've had that sponsorships. We're like, we're not feeling this guy's content at all. And it is what it is. I can't be like, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're watching. You don't know what you're. No, okay. You don't want to do the deal. Let's move on forward. Let's go do something else.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, that Master P story is pretty dope, man. Just goes to show how savage Jimmy Iovine is. He is savage.
But he is savage too. P.
Yeah. No, he
Yeah.
said, fuck it, I'll do my own. And he did.
Yeah.